Hey everybody, I'm Cory Ballad, back again with another video. This one is going to be about two little documentaries that I watched on YouTube, or videos, whatever. It's about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's got Why You Still Remember Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends Characters by Nerdstalgic. And then I got 107 Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends Facts You Should Know. So I'm just going to do a recap over this. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and share the video. Did I say that one already? Like it, share it, subscribe, comment down below. Go ahead and visit my blog and read my ebook. It's called I Have Done Enough. It's free over on my blog. It's corysong.blogspot.com. Alright, so like I said, we have Why You Still Remember Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends Characters. It's a really long title. It's by Nerdstalgic. Alright, so basically it was a short video, and it was mainly about, well, it was basically, wait, what am I trying to say? The summary of it, I'm going to summarize it really quick. What it was about was why Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends was so good. But the video is angled at how they set it up, like the design of the actual show, the look of the show, the design of the characters, as well as the characters themselves. Not necessarily saying talking about what happened to them or whatever. It's not like the other ones that I've done so far. It's like why they went bad or something. Because this cartoon was on for a short period of time, and it actually, I don't think it went south. Nobody thinks it went south. It stayed on long enough. I wanted to do this one because I love Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. It's one of my favorite cartoons, like, ever. I think it's up there with SpongeBob and stuff. Like, it's up there really high. So, yeah. It should get more recognition. So I decided to watch these videos. Some other people think so as well, and I'm going to continue further that along by sharing these videos and my small piece about these videos. And yeah, it will continue my path to talking more about cartoons like I had vowed to do. Got a little stain on my shirt. This is actually my pajama shirt, so whatever. Yeah, okay. Let's just get right into this now, because now I'm distracted and I don't remember. Alright, so Craig McCracken, he created this show. He's the creator of the Powerpuff Girls. He created this show. The idea was based on an event that happened. He and his wife went to go adopt some dogs, and then he got to thinking about what would happen if this same concept were put to, like, children creating imaginary friends. And so that's why he created the show. Alright, so what made the show so special was it focused on design of the oh, that's my note. Oh, yeah, I should have read that before I started talking. Focus on the design of the show and characters. So it talked about the design of the show, how it's psychedelic, 60s influenced, kind of like what's the word for that stuff that like tie-dye. Like they talked about the house and stuff like that. And now, when I was watching it when I was a child, I didn't think about any of this. But now that they mention it and you look at it, you can kind of see. They're talking about the psychedelic, so it's kind of when they showed it kind of remind me of like tie-dye shirts or lava lamps, like moving colors and stuff like that. So I guess I could see like what they were talking about, like those faded type of muted or colors or whatever, like that. And then they pointed to the theme song, and now that they mention it, it does sound like Beatles or something type of song. So yeah, I understood what they were saying about that. What else? Imaginative and diverse design of the characters. So they talked about the design of the characters, how everybody was a different shape, a different size, a different height, a different color. It was all colors of every color, on the spectrum, and every shape and every size and every how they were so diverse in the design. This is what made it stand out and made the characters unique and the show unique because of that. And then it said every character was the exact opposite of what most would think they would be. So I gave some examples. They talked about Blue. He was just a blob, pretty much. He was unoriginal and basic design. So, but his personality was the complete opposite of that because he was the most dynamic and he had the big personality. He was, the most animated and the most, even though he was the least animated as far as design, he was a blob. But he had the biggest personality and caused the most trouble, the most mischief, most mischievous character. He was always plotting and, he was yelling and, flailing around and causing all kind of chaos. On the other hand, Wilt was a very large character. They said he was 10 feet tall, but he was like, he wanted to be quiet and he didn't want to make a fuss, and he wanted to be a people pleaser and make everybody accept him and like him. So these characters were the complete opposite of what they were designed physically. Their personality, their emotional, and what's the other word? Whatever, let's move on. I'm not Eduardo. Also, he was just a big monster. He had sharp teeth and horns, and he was a monster. And but his personality. He was scared of everything. He was a scary cat. So, and then also Cheese. He's a small, misshapen character. It's like he had like mental disorders, almost like So you would think that he wouldn't be causing trouble, but he was evil. But he was actually an evil, like maniac type of character. So they talked about Nerdstalgic, this channel, the person who's Nerdstalgic. He just talked about how the contrast in the character's design and their shape and stuff would mislead you to. It was in complete contrast to what their personality actually was. And then also something that made the show great as far as the characters was why they were so great and the show was so great was how they developed the characters. They focused on character development heavily. The characters had backstories, made them relatable. I was watching the other video that I'm going to talk about next, which is the facts. And they was talking about how they did a story about Frankie's parents, about why they weren't around and stuff like that. They talked about Wilt and how he got created, how his creator was a basketball player and then he got injured. Talk about Eduardo's backstory. Talk about the grandma, what's her name, Madame Foster, how she created Harriman and all this type of stuff. So the characters had backstories, and that made them more relatable. The show was based on stories, and the stories were they showcased how the character would act in any different situation. They always had the same character. They always had the same personality throughout the different situations that they would have on the show, and that made them better characters, and the show just better and more believable. So there you go. That's that one. So then the other one is 107 Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, Facts You Should Know. And this is by channel Frederator. So yeah. So this is just what it sounds like. It's just them talking about facts, odd facts. So I'm not going to say all of them, of course. I'm going to say some of them that I didn't know that were very interesting or something like that, on the lines of that. So, so it said that the show and the creator, Craig McCracken, he was inspired to create this show by shows like SpongeBob and the Muppets. So I didn't know that. They said that he created the Powerpuff Girls, and he just wanted to make a show that was just silly and funny. A funny show like SpongeBob, and a show that the whole family could relate to, like the Muppets. So those were inspirations for that show. Okay, the next one is Frankie wears a Powerpuff Girls shirt, which I never knew and I didn't see. So she wears like a white T-shirt and she has on a green sweater or something. And the little white T-shirt had the Powerpuff Girls on it. Craig McCracken is the creator of the Powerpuff Girls. Frankie is based on McCracken's wife. Didn't know that. Okay, the fourth thing, Mac's brother is Mac's brother. I forget. I didn't write his name down. Patrick or something. I don't know. Terrence, I think his name. I didn't write that down. That wasn't important. His brother is voiced by Tara Strong, who voices a whole bunch of people. Timmy Turner, and she voices a whole bunch of people. She's one of the great cartoon voiceover artists. Frankie is voiced by the woman who plays Vicky from Fairly Odd Parents. Coco. Okay, this is the next one. Coco, Cheese, and Madame Foster are voiced by the same person as the person who voices Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. Wilt is voiced by Hermes from Futurama. The voice actor who plays Hermes on Futurama also voices Wilt. I don't remember this part of the show, so I wrote it down. So they had that the babies had imaginary friends that were called Scribbles, which I don't remember that episode or those episodes where they were talking about Scribbles. But apparently, since the babies didn't have that much development, the only imaginary friends they could come up with is Scribbles. So that was funny and interesting. And then I didn't know Cheese said Cheese, the character Cheese, he calls all liquid chocolate milk. I remember, because I haven't watched it in a long time, I remember he used to talk about chocolate milk, but I didn't know that he called everything chocolate milk, everything that was liquid and that was drinkable. So I didn't know that. That was funny. And then also it said, the last thing that I had is Mac, Blues creator Mac. He is voiced by Sam from Rocket Power. So if you were a kid during that time, Rocket Power is one of my shows that I used to watch. So so it was very interesting. So a lot of cross voices going on over there. So yeah, that was my video, my little mashup of these two videos about Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, one of my favorite cartoons. And yeah, that's it. I'm going to do more videos about cartoons soon, and just more videos in general. Go ahead and like the video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel. Go ahead and comment on the video down below. Go ahead and share the video on other platforms. Visit my blog, corysong.blogspot.com. And all that information is going to be in the description box. And yeah, I'm out of this. Let me do the outro. Do.